a lot of Ugandans don't have the other side that had with the police, the good side. A lot of them, maybe many of them do, but a lot of the times they also have this bad side. Why is that the case that sometimes these policemen seem to be so angry, so quick to unleash force, and from the vintage point of someone who was in the police, and now you're retired, you're senior and all that, how do we change that as a country to make the police more humane, more understanding, and more approachable?
I think now the dynamics are different. Now we're talking about policing in a democratic state. Okay? In 1994, when we started community policing, we had one political dispensation.
The movement system.
After that, we now go into multi-party political system. Now, the preoccupation therefore now should be, how do we police in a democratic dispensation? How do police are trained to make sure that if we go in a direction, this is how people are treated?
Behind every book is a hidden story, a conflict, a question unresolved, a dream waiting to be told. On Voice in Print, we uncover the minds behind the words, exploring the writing process, the creative bursts, and the quiet obsession that drives authors to transform fleeting thoughts into lasting pages.
Yes, welcome to yet another edition of Voice in Print. I hope you enjoyed the first edition, and like I said then, if there are any comments, if there are people you want us to host, you let us know in the comments even of this one, and we shall always host them. So I'm glad to say that we have yet another author, another Ugandan author, whose book you've probably seen around, but he's going to tell us more about it, the process of writing it, what he meant to achieve by this book, and some of the content in this book. So without further ado, let me introduce Afande Asan Kasingye.
Oh, thank you so much, Godwin. I'm glad to be here, and thank you for having me.
Great. We are glad to have you too. We always looked forward to it. When we were discussing the idea for this project, one of the names that came to my mind was your name. I was like, someday we should have Afande Asan Kasingye.
Thank you so much.
And so this is the book that brings you here.
Yeah.
Chosen. Let's just start with this title. Chosen. What's that? Like, why are you chosen? Or what is chosen?
You know, you reach a point and you look behind.
Yes.
You see where you have come from. You look at your family. You look at the schools you've gone through.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself in a certain kind of position, in society.
Yes.
And then you ask yourself, is this me?
What did I
Okay.
do to deserve all this?
What did I do to deserve this? And then for me, I quickly, because I'm a religious person, I quickly remembered Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, that even before you were created in your mother's womb,
I had a plan for you.
He knew you and he set you apart.
Okay.
You had to go and be in charge, And so chosen came from there. I was chosen by God. I don't even think that anybody made me, because I look behind and I see that, the Godfather, what, these things are not there in my journey.
You didn't have them?
No, I didn't have them. I didn't know I would finish my career and then I go and sit an interview and I pass. I didn't know all this. Okay. I didn't know that I can come from one rank to another without going to someone and say, hey, help me. And no. So, for me. Yes. So, and then you ask yourself, but why you? Others are also working like you. Yes. How come you reached the Assistant Inspector General, but somebody who entered with is still Assistant Superintendent of Police? Okay. So then I made the conclusion, it's God. So that's what Chosen is all about.
Okay. So let's now talk about the book. This book starts with your, like many books of this kind, early childhood, the schools you went to, and things like that. So in a briefly, like, could you just take us through that early part of your life that probably, there's an English saying that always intrigues me. It says that the child is the father of the man. So I didn't know what it meant until I asked. They said it basically means that a man is the product of his childhood. So the childhood made you. So the child is the father of the man.
That makes sense.
So your early childhood and all those other periods.
Early childhood is very important, and actually I believe that many people who have written autobiographies and have written quite many, the childhood kind of, makes what you've become later on.
Yeah.
It's like you can't cheat. You can't cheat that. And I do believe, like, as parents, we should pay a little more attention to how we raise our children, because this is going to have a very big impact on their future.
Yes.
For me, I'm born from a family, not really poor family, because when you read Chosen, you find that my father was a shopkeeper.
Yes.
Yes. He had a shop selling groceries. I did go to school I had never seen anyone say go back home and bring school fees. Up to Makerere, I would even ask my father money to go to Makerere, much as I was given the money. Yes. So the issue is not about really that I was born from a very poor family. But again, it is not rich. So the whole village, like, we are at the same level. So I talk about my early childhood, and the most important thing is that the child belonged to the community. Okay, so you were born in your father's house, but it's the community that has a lot of impact on you.
Okay.
In terms of how you socialize, in terms of how you grow up, in terms of how the other children have impact on you, in terms of discipline, anyone can discipline you, others are in school, how come you are on the way, you're seated somewhere?
Yes.
And I thought I would bring that to be able to have like a comparison of how we bring our children now. What is it that we must be able to do? People are suffering with parenting,
yes.
Okay? And I thought that was important.
Yes.
And again, when you grow up in that kind of society, there is a lot about your culture, about the traditions that you should get to know about, and this guide you in the way you develop.
Yes.
So my early childhood is that childhood where everyone was responsible for me. Everyone would come at home. Everyone, even when you wanted to do something, it's the whole community, okay?
Yes.
Including agriculture. So you can bring the whole community into the different aspects of life. Okay, yes. So in agriculture, you see like everyone from the community, your mother goes and mobilizes them. If someone must come from that family, because you just want to have to grow millet, you know, at that level, even when you are weeding, even when you are threshing, even when it's that. But it also goes into homesteads. You know, I tell a story of how houses were built, you know, how people would come and my father would make sure that there is beer, local beer for them. Yes. And then they would thatch the house, they would paint it, they would do all that kind of thing, including marriage, you know, when there is a function, people bring things, bring food. These days people sit and then they say
when you talked about marriage, I think you guys had it easy. When you're asking us, when are you getting married? My marriage means a lot on my end, not the whole community.
Yeah. Because that time it was very easy.
Yes.
Each family had a role to play. You either bring food, you are going to bring, maybe somebody is responsible for a tent, but the tents were local tents, you know. But you find in my home, my father goes and buys porcelain, you know, these good cups and all that. Yes. And you can never eat on them.
They
are kept for a function that would happen on the village or when visitors come. So for you are eating on these plastic things. No. That time it was not plastic, but this metal, you know, cups and but the good ones are for visitors. So you really see how families viewed communities, because you have something that you have to contribute to the community. And to me, that was very important.
So let me just follow up that briefly. When you compare the childhoods you see right now, I mean, when I look at childhood in Uganda today, there are two things. The childhood I see in Kampala is very different from the childhood I see in my village in West Nile. So when you see the children growing up today, both in Kampala and in your village, do you think there are aspects of that are missing with them?
Yes.
Okay.
There is, you know, every generation now, mine compared to now, has both advantages and disadvantages. But I can tell you that, you know, we are from Africa. And because from Africa, there are a lot of that what we must have in terms of culture and traditions in order to to make you, someone in Africa.
Yes.
So there's a huge difference. Number one, I've told you that communities would shape a child to a man. Communities. Your parents are playing a certain role, but let me say 40%, and the communities are playing 60%.
Yes.
Now, your parents must contribute about 70% to 80%.
Yes.
You wake up in the morning, you are in the car, you are going to school, they bring you back, you stay in there. If you are going out, you are going up as a family. If you come alone, they say, where have you been? Be careful, and all that. I think at that time it was a problem if a child did not go to play football on the village. If the child did not go out, I think there is a problem that is going to happen. How come this child is alone? Is going to be egocentric? Is going to be that? For me, that is number one. Number two, the community provided like security.
Yes.
Security in terms of this child. Okay? So how safe you are, the kind of people you go with, and to make sure that every child in the whole community is okay and therefore acceptable that you can be with other children. But now, I think parents get worried about the kind of people you are going out with. So it's if people from around your neighborhood see your child going with some other boys or some other girls I think they will come and tell you, there's a problem. Your child is going with so and so. So now the sense here is that the more children at that age group themselves together in terms, because you need to grow up with other children, then you are learning bad manners. You are into drugs, you are into all these intoxicants, and therefore it is a problem because you are seen with a group of other children in 3s and 4s and 5s, so it becomes a problem. But the other time, it is something different. But look at it also, the children growing up in that community were being taught on certain things. So you can say that manhood or womanhood was prepared from at that stage.
The village level.
At the village level. When I told you that you would get people from other families to come and partake in these different activities of millet, I explained how millet from the way the time you plant it at the time it is in your basket, eating it.
Yes.
Now, who are those doing that? The young girls. So young girls are being trained on their roles as future mothers, on what they are supposed to do.
Okay.
You remember, if you went to marry a girl, you would ask other people about that girl. You would not even have to go and ask an auntie or to go and ask maybe the parents. The other people in the community would tell you that girl has grown up well, she suits you. Right? I don't know how many here would just go around the neighbors to ask about that girl, because probably the neighbor has never seen your daughter.
Never interacted with them.
Never interacted. You don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Now, as a boy, also it prepared the boy to manhood. Somebody will tell you, no, boys do this, boys don't do this, and you get to know from other people. I think looking back, I think the communities did a lot to make who we are.
Okay.
And villages are big villages. Probably we're talking about 200 people, 300 people. As we are growing up and we are going to school, there is this silent, like, I want to be like so-and-so. He's going to school like Ntare school. I want to go to Ntare school. How did he come to pass and go, passing and going to secondary schools was a huge problem.
Yeah.
There were very few schools in the country. And that meant that very few people get opportunities to go there. Now you find, because in this home, there is someone in senior 4, senior 5, he has gone here. How did he? So there is that kind of competition and learning and going to my friend. How do you do these things? How sort of this equation. And so much learning was done, including formal education was actually done within our communities than the teachers, which I think now it is not. Because our parents never did homework for us. You bring homework, you give it to your dad, you give it to your mom. Are we not the ones who do homework?
Yeah, the ones.
So did our parents even know X?
No.
Sort of X?
No.
They didn't know that. No. But who was doing that? Our fellow
community members,
village members who were in different schools, but we are all in that community, and we do that.
So there was a big sense of bonding.
Very, very big sense of bonding, and there could be misbehavior, but not much, because everybody will rain on you.
Okay. So then you leave the village.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to skip the part of St. Kagwa.
Yeah.
Skip that.
Yeah.
You leave the village, you join Makerere.
Yes.
And then to the police force.
Yes.
Can you just take us through that part? How was that connection when you left Makerere? You said there was a war when you were joining Makerere and you delayed.
There was always a war when I'm going to come from a certain like primary to secondary, there is a war. From secondary to the university, there is a war. Even high school around there was something.
Wow.
But there was no shortcut, man. That we had to make sure that we pass.
Okay.
So I was that person that always looked ahead, and my focus was always on my studies. If you read the book, you find I'm hitting my chest and said, "Nobody beat me in class," or something like that. So one time, the headmaster of St. Kagwa High School, after finishing senior 4, he said, "I want you to."
That's in Bushenyi.
That is in Bushenyi.
Yes.
I want you to come to this school. And I was like, no, I want to put in another school. He said, please, because he was new, he wanted to change things. Said, I want you guys, we have started HSC. I want you guys to be here because I want the best. And now I began to realize I'm the best. Even the headmaster knows I'm one of the best. Yes. So I must never let him down. Yeah. So sitting, going to Makerere now was my preoccupation. And I tell a story where we were going into, because I was in student politics. And that time it was called NUSU, National Union of Students of Uganda. And I was the chapter president for NUSU in St. Kagwa.
UPC days.
Yes. So we come for annual general meeting, which was at Chambogo. Yes. But we were all had to be at Makerere because, you know, the politics of who becomes the president. Yes. It was always between a Makererian and somebody from Chambogo. Yes. So being at Makerere was to capture our minds. Without knowing, so they capture our minds. So when we reached there, we slept in University Hall. But the first place we were taken is Mutual Hall. Yeah. Now I looked at Makerere, I said, oh my God, I think I must come here. I got that same feeling when I went to Mutual. I was like, I must be in this hall. Exactly. I said, I must come here. It is, and even in HSC, when I went back, I used to tell people, I'm going to Mutual Hall. I didn't say I'm going to Makerere, but I ended up going to Livingstone.
That was a big mistake.
Going to Makerere, therefore, is like, oh yes, God has made me to do it. Who am I? 3 out of about 80 students from the school. So 3 of us, me, the first, second, and third, we all went to Makerere. Wow. And we go at a time when the war.
This is 86.
I go 86. I'm supposed to have gone 85. So I go 86. Now, we enter Makerere, and the politics now at that time really usurped us. Because we used to have people who come from government to come and talk to us, including the president. The president came to Makerere in 1986. Were between the main hall and agriculture. Yes. You remember where agriculture was? And yes. I think it is still there. Yes. And so they used to come and talk to us, tell us the problem of Uganda, tell us, you know, where we are now, tell us where we are going in the future, and remind us that we had a role now to play. So I began to realize that, okay, 3 years from now, I'm going to be in government. Okay, so what kind of
position in government?
Position in government, and what role am I going to play? And I was doing political science and economics, and I started beginning to look at being in administration, public administration, while others were talking about other things. Yes. But you remember 90% of the students at Makerere all must be in government because they are paying for us, remember? Yes. And by the time we reached third year, I was already made. I wanted to join police.
Your mind was made.
My mind was on police because whoever would come to us, Ruzindana, Kategaya, Deleti, Kakukazora, who's just died, they called him like the RDC of Kampala. So they used to come and tell us, young people, when you join government, please look at security. Because government was phasing out people, people were in,
and all.
Yes, you remember even the police in 1986 were reduced from about 14,000 to 3,000.
86.
Yes.
I can't remember. I wasn't born, but
yes, yes. 86, they were reduced to 3,000.
Wow.
So there were a lot, many students that they wanted
to fill up the gaps.
To fill up the gap. Actually, the first group they recruited was in 1987. And these were about 100 people.
Okay.
Or even more than 100 people. 1988, they also recruited about 100. It is our group where they recruited only 36. Okay. So that's now the journey that takes me to the police. I had already made my mind.
Just a second there. So they're telling you join the security forces.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm not joining the army. I'm not joining the prison. I'm joining the police.
Actually, the first idea was to join the army if they had not left me that night.
Okay.
So, but army is not public service. So I had not filled
the public service form.
I had filled public service forms indicating I wanted to join the police. But in the background, I want also to join the army. But then I didn't have the opportunity to go. So I had now to join the police because I had passed public service interviews to join the police.
Okay.
Yes.
So now you're a policeman. Afande Asan Kasingye. You started in Tebe.
Yes.
How are those early days of the police? And I mean, today, when they're recruiting, for instance, the police, I think there are many more people who are now desperate to join. What you describe is the government pleading with you to join.
Yes.
What I see now is the people pleading with the government.
And the government is saying, no, hold on, they are no positions.
Yeah. So how does that play out? The early days you joined the police, what are some of the things that shook you the most? Some of the things that you liked? Was there any part where you said, did I make a mistake?
Okay. It's like you come from the university and then you are in police training. No hassle. So for me, the first thing is I never carried an envelope. This envelope you carry.
The brown one.
The brown one from one office to another. And the shoe goes like this, All they say, yes. So I never had that. It's my name is on the list, but they delayed the training. So I said, what do I do? So I went back to Makerere and registered for postgraduate diploma in education. Okay. Yeah, as I was finishing the coursework, as they call it, now remaining to go to school practice. Okay, teaching practice. Yes. That's what they call it. Now we are required at Chiburi Police Training School to begin the training. Okay. I think we graduated on a Friday, and then I reported on a Sunday. Okay. So all the time I was at Makerere University. Easy for me. Now, going to training, it became so easy again because when I finished the course in 1988, and so I asked myself, am I going to remain home waiting until when the public service interviews? So I decided to go to Chankwanzi, School of Political Education, SOPE, that's what it was called. Okay, so I went to Chankwanzi, and 4 months I was in Chankwanzi, and I actually was retained in Chankwanzi as a lecturer because I performed well. Okay. Our group was the group of Opondo, Opondo, that group. Yeah. Now, going to the training school in Chiburi, it became easier for me. Because even the lecturers would, the trainers would call me and say, no, for us we are going for tea, come and take over, because I knew everything. You understand? Okay. Yeah, so it becomes easier for me. The classwork was also easy because we were doing some kind of administrative law. We are doing also penal code, what they call police law, but it's mainly penal code, magistrate court act, things
Trial Indictment Act.
Exactly. Yeah, so those are the kind of things we are studying. We are eating well. We are sleeping in Chiburi. We are really, really, really trained as officers. During weekend, you can go anywhere you want in Kampala. Wow. which is now you have to go to Kabaria Masindi and do the military training. We didn't do so much. We only went for shooting range it was good. It was good. And mainly focusing at training an officer. They even teach you how you eat, how you use your fork, how you go to. There is one who was even teaching us, if you go to a bar and they give you a bottle of beer, this is how you touch it, this is how you drink.
I should join the police now and learn. I've never learned how to use the fork, but for me it's part of my thinking that this is so colonial. But yeah. I've never learned that. So now you are a police officer. You come out. At what rank do you come out of the?
Cadet Assistant Superintendent of Police. So you can say the rank is Assistant Superintendent of Police.
For me and the viewers who don't know what that means.
The Assistant Superintendent of Police, they put on 3 stars. Like Captain in the Army.
Yeah.
So you put on 3 stars. Yes.
So you're already at the command level.
You're already at the command level. Because when I finished the course, I was recruited into special branch at that time. Because they said from number 1 to number 5, you are all going to special branch.
Is that part of number 1, number 5 in performance terms?
You see, special branch was an area, even now crime intelligence is an area where you use your intellect, your brain. So
what I want to get is, you're saying that you're one of the top 5 performers.
Yes, now I am one of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 out of 36 are going to special branch.
Wow. So you joined special branch.
So I joined the special branch. But before we were deployed, there are people who had been who are trained as special branch officers who were doing, let me call what is it called now? I've left the police and I'm forgetting a lot of
terminologies.
Yes, terminologies. But these are people who put on uniform and they do work at a police station. General duty. That's what it's called.
I don't know that.
General duty. Yes, so you are doing general duty. So they switched. Where there was someone who did the special branch and is doing general duty, they send you there and the other one goes back to special branch. So that's how I go to Entebbe to replace somebody called Mugumia who was taken back to special branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Entebbe, then Apache.
Oh, yes. Then Entebbe I did 4.5 years. I actually started as officer in charge of minor contraventions book called MCB.
The minor infringements of
minor infringement, fighting, assault, things like that. You are aiding CID. So these offenses are handled by you people in general duty so that the CID can concentrate on bigger picture. And then I did that for 6 months, and then I became officer in charge station. The DPC looked at me and said, "This man is not for minor things." So I went.
What was that age at that time?
I was 25.
So on average, if you could roughly, what age do people normally take that role that you're taking at that point?
It could. Yeah, but even now, young people are given stations. Yeah, so but the stations now are not the stations that time, because you find a district has a division, like 4 divisions. Yes. So each division has an OC station. Each station has an OC station. Okay. By that time, there was one big station in a district. So you have one OC station who is next to the DPC. Okay, so you relatively a little bit higher there, but the duties remain the same. More. Yeah, but the duties still remain the same.
Okay, so then
I go to Apache in 1994.
That's where you had the horrible experience.
You really chosen. Then now I had arrived. Because all along I think I was just Entebbe.
Baby gloves.
Then I go up country. And I find a DPC who was ready for me. He's ready for me, and he's ready really to show he's a boss and
to break your speech.
Yeah. I think it's like this guy is feeding on the gold cutlery. So here you come, okay. And he really gave me a real beating. So
let me first jump the gun slightly. When you become a senior police officer, much later, are there any steps you take to ensure that junior officers, if I could call you junior officer at that time, when you're in Apache, with your institutional memory, with your probably the other officers facing what I'm facing, are there things you undertook to ensure that that doesn't happen to other people in the future?
You know, if you read the book, I served there 2 weeks.
And then you left.
And I left. And when I left, I wasn't leaving that I want to be transferred anywhere or placed anywhere. I had given police, I had served my work, I had finished, and I don't want the police. The first time ever to say, I no longer want the police. So I went back to Entebbe, and a friend of mine whom I mentioned in the book called Charles Nahamia, he was ASP at that time. So he says, no. I think we can go to the Deputy Inspector General of Police and explain what befell you. So I agreed. He takes me there. And when I told him, the late John Chisembo, who was the Deputy Inspector General of Police and later became the Inspector General of Police, one of the people I respect up today, that even his family are too close to my heart. Because he looked at me and he says, it's okay, I've heard, you can go. So when I went back, the thing that came to my head was get involved in work that improves the relationship between the people and the public, and also there is inter and intra kind of relationship within the police, so that people don't run away from the police, running away from stress, running away from bad management, and that's the reason why I joined community policing.
Okay, so we're going to get there now. Let me talk about the part where you go for this training abroad.
Yes,
you say that's when you begin to support Asan as well.
I go. Yes, when I joined community policing, it was a program under the British Aid, if you remember the British Aid. Okay, so
professionalizing the police.
And so these white people from Metropolitan Police, and they were coming to do that. And when I was placed under community policing, I found an officer called Bernard Brown. So Bernard Brown and the one who was in charge of the whole program, called David Lawson, they organized a course for me in community policing and crime prevention. The only officer who has ever done that course is me. Okay, I don't remember anyone in the police doing that course. Very, very, very important course. So I go to Stafford, where the Her Majesty's Crime Prevention Center was, and I did the course. Okay. While I'm doing that course with the 29 others who were actually all British, from the British different police constabularies. So there is a 23rd of March found me there. And 23rd of March is my birthday. Okay? So that very morning, one officer called Dave, he comes and asks me, which club do you support? And I said, I support Aston Villa. To tell you the truth, I'd never seen any English Premier League game. It was not here in Uganda. We are not watching English Premier League. Actually, we are watching Bundesliga.
One of Germany.
Yes, we are watching people like Tone Yeboah, Frankfurt. We are watching, Bremen. Okay. Spear Motors. You remember Spear Motors?
Yes.
Spear Motors is the one that brought us. It was...
That's WBS TV.
No, not WBS TV. It was UTV. So on UTV, Spear Motors was sponsoring a program
of Premier League.
Okay. And that's how we watched. No, not Premier League. The German, Bundesliga. Okay. So I said Aston Villa. So they asked me, what? Aston Villa? Why? Do you know any player? I said, I don't know any player. But in Uganda, I support a club called SC Villa.
Which I also support, yeah.
Yes. So that's why I...
Aston Villa,
then
SC
Dave
Villa.
looked at me, gave me a hard look and said, from today you support Arsenal. I said, Arsenal? He said, yes, your club is Arsenal. And actually, I'm taking you on Saturday to Highbury to watch a match. So I said, okay, I am Arsenal. So they go and buy all these, Arsenal things like key holder, this, a scarf, and a T-shirt, these Philips,
Yes.
all that. And they brought them to me, and I looked at them. I was so happy. And I watched the match at Highbury. From then, a love for
Have you never regretted?
1995.
Have you never regretted given how long the trophy drought?
No. Actually, the 2000s, because that was 1995.
Yes.
So in 1998, Arsenal took the English Premier League. 1998.
Up even 2004.
Then 2003, 2004, 2004, I think 2004, 2005.
That's the invisible run.
Yes, when we took the and actually that year we took the trophy without being defeated.
Yeah, that's the invisible run.
Yeah, the invisible run.
2003, 2004.
Yes,
Okay.
2003, 2004.
Okay.
And then 2005 we played the finals of Champions League with Barcelona.
I watched that game.
If you watched that game, that is a game where we got 2 red cards.
The goalkeeper.
And
I think Arsenal scored first.
Yeah, Van Persie was given a red card because he kicked a ball when a whistle had already gone. So they gave him a red card. And then the goalkeeper, the German goalkeeper, Lensman,
yes.
Yeah, was given a red card. Yes. Even when they gave a red card, they had to remove, I think it was Pires. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, if it is not Pires, then it is Lumberg.
Yes.
They had to remove him, sacrifice him for someone who came as a goalkeeper.
Yes.
I'm telling you, the whole thing was, and that is the time they had Ronaldinho, all these players.
It was Eto'o who scored, actually, the first goal for Barcelona.
Yes.
I remember watching that game.
Then Eto'o and all that.
Messi was relatively younger.
I think that was robbery of the highest order. And Thierry Henry had played his last game.
Yes, Barcelona.
Then he goes to Barcelona.
Okay. Now let's move from the robbery of football
to
your role in the community policing bit.
Yes.
So the way I think the community policing thing really blew up with crime preventers.
Yes.
That's around 2015, leading to the 2016 election. That's when the time it really blew up.
That is 2016 election.
2016 election.
Yes.
But and the idea when it's explained, each time it's explained, for me it's marvelous.
Yes.
That Toko works with Asan Kasingye to fight crime within his community. They know the areas, who is the new guy here, there is a robbery, how do we help? But there is also this other bit of crime prevention that became a bit inexplicable. Some of the crime preventers were accused of engaging in crime. So I want to give us a picture. What was the vision you had of community policing? And why did that in many ways seem to depart from the reality when it came to practice, to the point that I think police no longer even talks about it anymore?
When I came back, I came and explained to the Deputy Inspector General of Police. He actually called me to his office to go and explain to him what is it that I studied and what is it that I'm bringing on board. Yes. So I took my time. He had time for me, and I took my time to explain to him about crime prevention being a subset of the community policing program. And, what was envisioned at that point is that the police over the years had gone through, bad patches between the police and between them and the members of the public. There is this negative attitude about the police. They are bad people. They delay investigations. There is a lot of corruption. All that, and at that time, I'm not ashamed to say. Even the National Resistance Army did not believe so much in the police. You understand that. So at that time, even the relationship between the army and the police wasn't good. Okay. Right? Yeah. Now, so community policing was that program where you have to work hand in hand with other security agencies. You have to work with the public, so that you can surmount crime together. It's a partnership. It's an approach, a partnership approach, where the public and the police work hand in hand in order to bring about law and order within the communities. Yeah. That is what it is all about. Now, in our setting, where I now come in, the question was, the modalities of community policing in the UK are quite different from Uganda. Yeah. Because in the UK, the people like the police. They work hand in hand with the police. So it becomes easier for police to come up and say, register everybody. Everybody is going to register. Every morning, someone from the community is sending a report, either by email or by on what happened last night. Yeah. So they are getting reports from the communities, and for me, that is free information that can be turned into huge intelligence. Yes. Now here, we had to start from the basics. How do people like the police?
The relationship was not good.
Now, whenever the police officers would go to communities to talk about the police and how we do our work, people are not convinced. Mm-hmm. So we had to use members of the community within our own community policing program. And to tell you the truth, I'm the one who coined crime preventers. Because there they are called crime... I've forgotten the word they use. But here, then, and what were they doing? For them, they were doing skits. They were doing plays. They come and do a scene of a robbery, and then how you report it, how the police come in, how the community come in, how evidence is got. So we organized them from Katwe, Chibuye, or the Kampala, these two police stations. And these guys were putting on T-shirts, Uganda Police Crime Preventers, help the police for the police to help you. They were singing, and that's how we are using them. Okay. That was the original idea yes. of crime preventers and community policing. Now, in 2016, I was no longer the chief political commissar. I was already in Interpol. I was the director of Interpol, and I joined Interpol in 2011 up to 2017. Okay. So, in 2015, crime preventers were now recruited, but now with a different motivation. Yeah. So they became like village what kind of force was it which is in the communities?
LDU?
Like an LDU. Yes. Kind of like an LDU. Okay. All right? So, you see, when therefore you form members of the community into some kind of offshoot or some sort of another security organ, then the public no longer think they are theirs.
They have been picked from them and taken the other side.
The other time, these are our own members of the public, yes. and they only come to tell us what we should be doing in order to help the police, because we don't trust the police. Okay. But now, these are removed from there. They are trained. After being trained, then they begin to work with the police, which means it is possible you are going to find crime preventers working with the police at night patrolling, and they are going to ask you, where are you coming from? So now the public began to think, these are no longer our guys.
These are the public. These are the police.
These are the other side. So I think that explains why there was a little bit of disconnect. Yeah, much as they were doing a very good job, I can tell you they were doing a good job.
Do you think it can still be improved? Or what under the bridge? It's something foregone, we can just let it go?
I think now the dynamics are different. Now we're talking about policing in a democratic state. Okay? In 1994, when we started community policing, we had one political dispensation.
The movement system.
After that, we now go into multi-party political system. Now, the preoccupation therefore now should be, how do we police in a democratic dispensation? How do police are trained to make sure that if we go in a direction, this is how people are treated.
Okay.
People have different ways, you know. If you look at the formations that are there, the first thing is we are going to meet the police. The police are going to beat us, so the police are going to do this. Yes. So everyone who is there thinks that the police are there to make sure that they fight against them. Or there was one time we went to Parliament, there was a committee of Defense and Internal Affairs. Yes. So we went there as police to face the committee. So one honorable member of Parliament, he's late, he died. He was from Rubaga. And then he said, police chichi, temuchatukuba. Temuchatukuba. Then I went ahead and asked him, what do you mean? He said, if you beat us, then the public, they said, now, this is our man because the police do not like him. Do you understand? Do you understand that kind of politics? So you have to learn that in a democratic dispensation, there are all these issues. Then the training must be oriented on how you police a democracy.
Okay, so there's this. Sticking with that issue, I have had so many experiences with the police. There was a gentleman called Rakamaga. You told me passed on. I didn't even know. Remember Rakamaga, the community policing officer at Wandegea? I think he died around COVID. It's you who told me that on Twitter sometime back.
I think the name is a little
Rakamaga.
Yeah, I think.
So I have had experiences with the police right from the time I was a student up to now. Some of them have been very amazing. Like Rakamaga, when I was at Makerere, when he had issues with Makerere students, he would call me and say, Toko, what is the problem? Then I would tell him, it's ABCD. We resolved so many issues amicably, including there was a time when students went to Andegea, they arrested some students. So he said, Toko, and I think he was threatening me first. I was actually reading for exams. He called me and said, Toko, these guys have come to the police. That is invasion of the police. That means that they can be shot at. I want you to get these guys out of here now. So that put me in this situation where I had to go and convince fellow students that what you're doing is wrong. But again, I had to be on the side of the students because I don't want to be a snitch. I don't want to be like I'm working for the police. And fortunately, I did that. I called the leader, he's called Aziz, I called Aziz and others, and I convinced them and said, if you want those guys out, give it to me, I'm going to get those guys out. And I made a deal with him that these guys are going to go back to university, but you get these guys out. Now, I've had that experience with the police. Very, very amazing people. But I've also had this experience, like the one I had at Makerere. People are campaigning, the police rough up someone, and I say, why are you roughing them up? Then you roughed up next, you spend the night in jail. We've seen the recent video from Kawempe, where you see a senior police officer, for instance, punching someone. A lot of Ugandans don't have the other side that had with the police, the good side. A lot of them, maybe many of them do, but a lot of the times they also have this bad side. Why is that the case that sometimes these policemen seem to be so angry, so quick to unleash force, and from the vintage point of someone who was in the police, and now you're retired, you're senior and all that, how do we change that as a country to make the police more humane, more understanding, and more approachable?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think the whole thing revolves around recruitment and training.
Okay.
So we have to do the right things. The kind of people that you recruit in an organization. I think you're not going to change someone in 1 year. You have taken him to Kabaria for training. Yeah. So you must have a way of how you've been watching people. This is what is done in the UK. They just don't simply, want to recruit and people just go running that they want to join the police. You must be, like having certain things, not age, not because you have not committed a crime, not because you have been, just because you have been followed up. We have to link. I'm sorry, I'm taking you into something like called kind of like conceptualization of all this, like academic. Yeah. But there must be a link between the education system that we have and the kind of people whom we are going to take to, places like security. In the UK, if you have done something, when I was in the UK, somebody had pushed a child, they were young, pushed the child from a tree, and the child fell down and got a very serious health problem. Yeah. And he tried to enter the police. They said, no, you could not protect your fellow child when you are young. We don't think you are going to do that. I thought that was a little bit serious because people change, but they stick to certain things. So you recruit people because you've watched them, because you followed them up, because society is following them up. The LOC kind of structure should not be that this is son of so and so stamp, and then you go, maybe you have paid 5,000. I'm sorry, LOCs, if you don't do this. But there are people who do that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, somebody comes on the village, you have never seen him, but he's recruited in the police.
In the name of your village.
Yeah, someone may say, what is he talking about? Each district is given a quota. There are districts who do not make a quota. Some people come from one area, they go to another area, and then you quickly,
claim that they are from that village.
Yes. How sure are you that you are sending the right people within the police? Then the second one is training. We must make sure that we do training that is more heavy on the rights of people, policing in a democracy. So people come from there without this dichotomy of we are against them.
Yeah.
You understand?
I see that a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're training people, yes, it's good to train them on public order management. People come on how you handle them very well, but you must teach them that, these are people who help us to fight crime. The police cannot fight crime without the people. And if the people are going to assist the police in fighting crime, then the people must have trust, must have confidence and mutual benefit from the police. Even the police should be, that is the same way that they should look at. Now, the training must be heavy on how police officers do their work within communities. That is number 2. Number 3, the police are going to do a lot in terms of improving the welfare of the police officers and looking at, this officer. Now you look at an officer. You look at a police officer. Where is this police officer staying? How is this police officer earning? How long has this police officer been here? How long has this officer taken on one rank? How long, those
welfare,
questions,
yeah.
Those questions, people may not think that they are important. But you may go with someone. You remember one time there was a public order management issue, and the late Kawesi was the commander for Kampala. And then while the people were coming, the police had dispelled them, and then one shot.
And he came very angry.
And then he came and then who told you to shoot? Who told you to shoot? Something like that. Yeah. You are always going to get someone who does not understand what it is all about. The others are the simple things that we must do, briefing them and all this. But let me tell you something. There's one thing good that I left there, and it is still. There is now joint command, joint briefing, joint operation orders, joint everything.
Joint with the army, with
security agencies, all the security agencies that you have. Because at that moment, the police could go and do something, the army would go and do something else, the other one would go and do something else. Intelligence have information, but whom have they given information? They are all doing it at the same time. Operational orders are done at the same time. So we know who is giving orders. We know who is you are reporting to. You know all these kind of things. Now, when it comes to managing crowds, managing and policing within a democratic dispensation, you must have all the security agencies working together. And if there is any problem, how do we deal with this problem? Do you remember the COVID when we were enforcing the first days of COVID? Yes. The army goes and beats some women carrying some mangoes. You remember it was the CDF who came and said, no, this is not allowed. This is not. And
them apologize.
I apologized and that kind of thing. It was the army, it was the police doing that. But this is the CDF who is saying, these are members of my force. I think these are the kind of things that we have to look out for. If we have to have a police that is not that kind of structure.
So I'm winding down this discussion now. We should finish in the next maybe like 10 minutes at most.
It's okay.
So there are things that I see with the police still. You complained, not complained. You asked the question where there was this, I think a lady minister, and the police guard was holding their bag, and you said, so what happens when they attacked?
Godwin.
Do you think should I say this? I was in Chinatown last month.
Yes.
And in Chinatown, this was not the police officer, but this was SFC, an army officer. And he was pushing a trolley, and there's this young lady, and I'm like, I'm probably older than that lady. And the man pushing the trolley is way older than both of us. Then I kept thinking in my mind that maybe she should have the mind to think that I can push that trolley myself. Of course, she was just talking about. But I bring this to say, I see that a lot. People are given police guards, and then the police guards, you see that the police guards take the kid to school, they are doing all this kind of work, and then there are these other ones where the guards now are used to push the rest of us off the road. Do you think there is need to streamline what people can do with their guards in this country? And do you think it's out of hand, like I think?
I think every time we deploy security to big people, we must explain to them. It is not a question of saying, take so-and-so to Honorable Kasingye, take so-and-so to Honorable Toko. No, you're right, I want guards. How many do you want? And then the person who's deploying them to you will come and explain to you exactly the roles of these officers that have been attached to you. People even cannot differentiate between police guards and bodyguards. You know, the bodyguards, somebody called a bodyguard, right? So if he's a bodyguard, it means he's protecting your body from any harm. It could be terrorism, it could be somebody aiming a gun at you, and all this. Now someone is carrying a bag. He has a gun here. He's carrying a bag, your bag, he's shopping bags and all that. And somebody's aiming at you.
How do they respond?
How do you respond with this person who's carrying all these things? And if you wanted, and this is how I used to write, if you wanted, recruit personal assistants.
Yeah, they can carry your bags.
Yes,
carry your
recruit,
notebooks.
or write to the police and say, I don't want bodyguards, I want personal assistants. Then we know where we can get those personal assistants and give them to you.
Yes.
But otherwise, you are not going to have somebody responsible for your security who's pushing trolleys in the no. You were there doing your hair, and you are telling this person, twara abana kusomero, then after that you go and do this, then you come back. And you are in a saloon. So tell me, why was this person given to you? This person is supposed to be where you are. But now you are saying, take school children and take them here and take them there.
Whoever is supposed to help me, you can now harm you.
Yeah, or someone is say, go to the farm, work with the with the workers. Yeah. So you have a police officer in the farm with his gun. Now he was not given to you for looking after cattle. So for me, my call, and I am glad when we had a new deputy IGP. That was the Major General. No. Lokech.
Yes.
He said, I don't want to see this. And he put his foot down. And it had gone. I don't know whether it has come back. I'm not paying a lot of attention.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you two quick questions. My producer is saying the time is up.
Yeah.
The first one is you held very different positions, senior positions in the police, spokesperson, Interpol, and all this. Which of those, if you were to go back to police and serve for the rest of your life, which one of those would you say that I want to have that one, and why?
I tell you what, I would again go and serve in the political commissariat. Yes, I'm one person who wants to see police working hand with everybody, especially the youth.
Okay.
The attention should be now on this new generation.
Let's flip that question. Which one wouldn't you go to?
Which one wouldn't I go to?
If you go any of those positions, go back and serve it for the rest of your life. Which one would you say, no thank you?
Why? I loved all my work. No. I loved all my work. I was the director of Interpol. I liked it so much.
How hard was it to be the spokesperson of the police?
It shouldn't be hard because you see, you do a lot of networking, and you do a lot of briefing, and you also get briefing. If there's a huge scenario, you just cannot go to represent your own views. So you represent the views of the organization. But quite often, there are people who do not understand your mandate. So even when you have been guided and say the position on this matter is this, the following day somebody may be in government or what is saying, why is the PRO saying this and this and this? I didn't go on my own. I represent the force. And what I'm telling you is the position of the force. Okay? So I think that's where the problem is.
So what have you been up to after police? I mean, you gave all your life to police. Then all of a sudden, you're no longer police. Now, what are you doing?
I'm the managing director of Tayar Security,
Okay.
a private security firm. Mainly, we are concentrating on guards and escorts.
How's that going?
It's going on so well.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was in the police, I used to say, what are these guys doing?
You had a problem with the police officer in Wandege. Who was sending away your guards? Not Wandege. Come Kira Road.
Kira Road. Now we settled it out. we sorted it out, and by the way, there is a lot of history between me and him.
Okay.
And I'm proud that I also tried, to make sure that I mentor this officer. But some of those things come when you are not properly coordinated.
Okay.
Yeah, always make sure that you don't take people for granted. If there's someone out there and then you feel there's something not going on right, call upon them. It is easy, call so and say, hey, I found a look here, there's this and this and this and this. I would be so grateful.
Then any plans of writing another book in the future?
Yes, I've already, I'm writing something about the area of retirement. By the way, this is going to be a blockbuster.
The one you're writing.
You see, what we say about retirement, like I'm being asked by so many people to come and talk about retirement. And I talk about retirement on planning, what people need to do. But there are certain things that somebody has that you can't just simply go and talk. And I think when you organize yourself and you put it in a book, people will look it out.
Okay.
And I think Uganda is going to have a view on how we treat people who want retirement, including people who finish working with us in an organization. How should we treat those people who have gone? There's no war. Actually, if there was war, then war is won because this person is no longer working with you. Then you don't turn around and, So there are so many things that people need to learn. Because one day you also find yourself in the same kind of situation. Now, we cannot continue with that. Countries develop.
That's for the next book.
That is the next book.
Now, let me bring you back here. Chosen, I think you can hold your copy as well, like I am doing. So how much is the book? Where can people find it?
Chosen from the community to community policing and back to the community.
Yeah.
Can be found. First of all, I can deliver even to your doorsteps.
Okay.
But it's in
what number would they call if you want to deliver? Is it a number or is it a website?
They can call my number.
You want to give it out on air?
Yeah. 0772 406330.
Okay. So for those the deliveries. And then those who are unable to get them can go to Aristoc.
They can go to the bookstore. They can go to Aristoc. They can go to
Mahiri.
Yes, Mahiri.
Okay.
I think Mahiri their books are finished, but they can go to Book Point in Gorobi.
Okay.
There is another. I think it is called African Study Center, African Studies.
Yes.
African Studies
the
with the
Uganda Museum.
Uganda Museum. Watson, yes.
Okay.
And then Uganda Bookshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Asan Kasingye. This has been a pleasure.
It is 50,000.
50,000.
50,000.
Okay, 50,000 is really affordable.
Yes, it is affordable.
Yeah. So this has been a pleasure hosting you for this discussion. So thank you very much for watching this edition of Voice in Print. This conversation went on a bit longer than the old one, because the conversation just kept going on and getting more interesting. I wish we had more time. Maybe we'll host you for the next edition as well, of the next book, and then see how that goes. So from us here, if you have any comment about this discussion, let us know about it. If you want to be hosted, let us know. If there's someone you want us to host, let us know. If we made a mistake, if Asan Kasingye got any facts wrong or anything, please correct us in the comments, and let's keep this conversation going, because this is meant to be the place where Ugandan authors can tell us their stories, we can listen to their stories, but also support their work. So get yourself 50,000 and get a copy of this book. Until next time, see you. Godwin Toko is my name.
That's a wrap for this episode of Voice in Print. The stories don't end when the book closes. They live on in the minds of the readers. Stay curious, keep exploring until we meet again to uncover more voices behind the pages. For the latest episodes, subscribe to the YouTube channel or listen to the podcast on all podcast streaming platforms.